welcome to our weekly 30-minute webinar. My name is Matt Sykes, a systems engineer here at Variphy, and I'll be your host for today's session. Today we are joined by my good buddy Jim Schultens. How's it going, Jim?
It's going good. How are you doing, Matt?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, today's session will revolve around our new MS Teams support, but more specifically on our report templates for the platform. Please note that these webinars are recorded and posted within 24 hours, so you can review them at any time. Check out the webinars page at variphy.com for all of our past and upcoming sessions. Also, you may see all these videos on our YouTube channel if that's easier for you. Okay, we'll start first with a quick overview of what Variphy can do for you. Then we'll jump into a live demo where Jim will guide us through utilizing the Variphy MS Teams report templates. We'll pause for Q&A. During the demo, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the chat section. After Q&A, we will reward one lucky attendee with a $50 Amazon gift card. So hang around and see if you have won. Okay, a quick overview of Variphy. Variphy is the preferred analytics and management solution tool for Cisco Call Manager, Contact Center Express, Cube iOS, WebEx calling, Zoom Phone, and now MS Teams collaboration. Deployable either on-prem or as a hosted cloud solution, we provide industry-leading call reporting and analytics, as well as customizable dashboards and widgets. Also, we still have call manager management modules like remote phone control, change management, and dial plan management as well. If you have any questions on any of our other features, please contact us at support@variphy.com or reach out to your account manager. One more thing before we kick this off, for an additional fee, Variphy offers an enhanced consulting to our customers. Variphy's SE team engages with you on a one-on-one basis to remotely provide additional consulting, report building, dashboard configuration, and system monitoring assistance. This is a service that provides you a dedicated Variphy SE to do the heavy lifting, giving you a stress-free, hands-off experience. For more information, please contact us or your account manager, and we'd be glad to speak more in depth about pricing and terms of service for our enhanced consulting services, or ECS. All right, let's go into the wild. I'm going to hand things over to Jim now, so please remember to type any questions that you have into the chat, and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. Take it away, Jim.
All right. Thank you, sir. And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another webinar. As Matt mentioned, today I'm going to be going over some Teams-related templates. Think of these templates as a starting point to either quickly run a report or with meaningful data, or be able to modify them to fit your needs. And without having to start from scratch, you've got a base point to start with, and then just make some modifications. For those that are new to Variphy or just exploring Variphy for the first time, we also offer templates for our other platforms. As Matt mentioned, we support CUCM, UCCX, Cube, WebEx calling, and Zoom. But like he said, today's focus is on MS Teams, so we'll get started there. First thing I need to do to use these templates is to download them. A few different ways of downloading them from our website at variphy.com. We've got this download button, which will take you to our downloads page under Resources, Support Center, Downloads. Downloads. You can even go to My Accounts and download. So I'll go there. That should take. I'm already logged in, so it will ask you to log in. So you do need a login to access this. It's easy to get. If you do need help with that, you can contact us. On this page, you've got the ability to download our latest release, our latest GA release, which right now is 16.1. And then below that, you've got the report templates. Like I said, we do have templates for all of our different platforms. And the one on top here is Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. Actually, I did already, but we'll get to that in a second. So one other thing I want to point out too is the resource under Resources Support Center knowledge base, or I could just go to kb.variphy.com. That's going to bring us our knowledge base articles. And in here, we can type in Teams template or just template, and it'll show all of them. Caps lock. And here are the templates. And we've got one main page, which kind of, if I go into this, it will explain each of the templates, give you a sample report of which what the output of each report or each template. As soon as they load, there we go. So it gives you a sample report, and you can click on here for each report. It'll bring you down to each one. We've also got description for each one, separate knowledge base article for each one. Example, my department summary, if I click on that, that takes me to that article. It again has a sample report. This one's probably not a good idea because there's not much to change on here. Um, so we do also offer optional changes. So you may need to make some changes to make the report fit your environment. And we'll go through those as we go through all the there are 6 of them currently. I imagine we will be adding to those as we get more in depth with Teams reporting. Try open for those. So, like I said, I did download those ahead of time, and it will download as a zip file in my downloads folder. As you can see, the zip file is the one I just downloaded. When you extract that, it's going to create a folder, and you're going to have a bunch of JSON files. So then what I need to do is go to my Variphy UI. In the reports page, make sure you're on the right platform. If you do have multiple, if you've got CUCM or Zoom and multiple platforms, make sure you're on the Teams. It will yell at you if you try and download, say, for instance, a CUCM template package. So we'll let you know that it will not work. But to do that, since I'm on my Teams, go into the reports section. If I hover over this Create Teams report, it gives me the Import Report dropdown. And all I need to do is click on that, browse to where I do have my JSON files, Teams report template pack. I can select one or multiple of these. So I'm going to choose all 6 of them. And we are going to import 6 files. And looks like I am got to refresh my login here. Just bear with me a second. I'm just going to go to my reports. I don't want to see the shared reports. So we'll try that again here. There we go. So I did import all 6 of those reports. So we will go through each one of these, kind of go over some of the changes you can make to make them fit your environment, or some of them, like we saw earlier, don't require any changes, but feel free if you do want. Again, these are templates. What I would recommend if you're going to make changes is to make a copy of the report. If you by clicking on this copy report, it's going to put you into the report settings and give it a name of copy. Obviously, you can change this name, get rid of the word template if you want, but then when you make your changes, save it, you'll have a new report. So a good idea to keep these templates as just that, templates, so you can always come back to them if needed. So I'm going to go and edit each one of these and kind of go step through these and show you the example outputs. So in this one, what we've done on most of the templates, if not all of them, is we're just showing certain things on here. You can always turn different options on, like the description will show this as part of the report. You can show who's generating user on that. But we wanted to keep it as simple as possible, so we just have the header summary. And then in our search sets, here is where you may need to make changes for this report. This is a 911 calls report, so any calls going out to 911. If your dial pattern is different, obviously you'll have to update this. And we do have, all these different options. You can put contains, but I'd be careful with that with 911, because if you just put contains 911, you could get more than you bargained for. So the exact pattern, put it in as it equals. And then what we're doing here with grouping, we are grouping by the calling party name. So whoever's placing that call is going to be listed separately. If you've got multiple people calling 911, you'll have a summary of each person and how many calls they make, and then details of those calls. I go down to call history details. These are the details we selected for this particular report. Nothing stopping you from adding or removing from these details. To add, you can just click, highlight it, click on the plus, or you can double click it. It moves it over. So very simple way to modify these reports. Start to finish is our cradle to grave. I don't really need that for an outbound call for 911. Let me show you an example output of that. So on this particular report, we had one call to 911 that summarizes up here how many total calls to 911. And then, like I said, we are summarizing it further by calling party name. So I happen to make that call, duration of 25 seconds. And then if I scroll down a little bit, here are the details of that. I will point out that this is a PDF version. When you run the report, it gives you the option to choose a different format. If you're going to have a lot of details in the detail section, a lot of columns, PDF does cut those off. So you probably want to go with either HTML or Excel. A lot of the detail columns. So the next report, department summary. What this is going to do is summarize calls based on department. So our search set, I'm looking at the call scenario type, and this is a great search set to use. I could just pick total calls. There are different options. I can choose different options here, but for this particular report, we're doing total calls. And then the magic of the report happens in the grouping summary, where we're grouping by calling or call party department. So this is an inbound or outbound from either calls placed from that department or received by that department. And it's going to summarize each department based on the department name. And what it's going to summarize down here is total call count, average call duration, and total call duration. You've got a whole bunch of other options to choose from if you like. You can always change these, add to it, or remove. Again, this is for the grouping. Overall, my total calls, if I go down to search set statistics, this is the statistics that are going to show for the overall total calls. So total call count, average duration, call duration, and total call duration. And then this one, we do not have call history details because it's just a summary report. So if I do run that, this is an example of that. I've got my total calls, so 184 total calls. Here's my average call duration and total call duration. Then it breaks it down by calling or call party department. I've got the same statistics here for each department, and then my grand total. So a great way to summarize your departments, how many calls each department is taking. I will point out this no associated calling department, that there's some calls that didn't have a department associated with them, so they can call. Again, this is a test lab, so we do have a lot of that just, for test calls. To move on to the next report, international calls, very similar to the 911 calls report, just kind of a dump of the calls to international. This is where you may need to make a change depending on your dial pattern. I just have to put this in. We need to put something in here for the call party number, so we've got that. Again, I'm using starts with. I could do change if I want, but whatever pattern you need to put in there, you can update that for that. Grouping, same as the 911 calls, we're grouping by calling party name. So this is for calls being placed internationally, important to you. And then your summary statistics and call history details. This up, I didn't have a lot of international calls. In fact, I had to fudge the data to get this one in the database. So the top, we've got our total call count, one international call, and then summarized by the user. Details of that call. Next report is an organizational summary by department and user. If I go into there, go through the search sets, and what I'm doing, I'm picking a department. So in our case, we have a technical support department. Obviously, you probably don't have that, or it's named something different. So it is a drop-down list, a pick list. So you can pick the department you want to run that on. And the grouping statistics is going to be calling or call party names. So whether that department was, um, you know, call department or calling department, we're going to sort it by the user receive those calls. In this particular case, call history details is turned off. You can turn that on, obviously, if you need to. And this is our summary values. That report. So my summary, this department, I could have named it a little bit better to make it more descriptive, but the tech services department, I have 40 calls, average duration, total call duration, and each person listed out for that department, their calls. And here I broke it down, originating call count, terminating call count, and then the total volume report. This is a pretty basic report, just if you want an idea of how many total calls are being consumed or made by the team's environment. Saw this before, call scenario types, total calls. I'm not doing any grouping. I'm not showing any call history. I'm just kind of summarizing on total calls. That, like I said, is a pretty basic report. And just showing the total volume, 184 calls. So what I can do with this to make it a little more interesting, bring that back up here. On my search sets statistics, we've got these different scenarios down here. I could show it by a table or I can show graphs. And if I turn this on, hour of day is selected. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to show, I have a sample report run by year to date. So I want to know what my busy day of the week is and what month over month, what's my call volume. And that's going to show total calls for day of week and month. So bring up a sample of that report. So again, time range is year to date. Total call count is 1,054. And then it gives me my breakdown by day of week. So Wednesday is my busy day for year to date. And then monthly, February is my busy month so far. So this, you can run this quarterly or at the year end to see what your stats are for time period you select. And then last but not least, just kind of a user call history report, just kind of a dump for a specific user. You can put multiple users in here. I can choose multiple users. This one, I'm just doing a space filler with the test user, but you can put multiple users in, and then we're grouping it by the user name, and no call. We are showing call history, so I would suggest if you're running this for a long period of time, you may not need the details, so you may want to turn that off. How many users we're talking. And then, if you do need more information, cradle to grave, which will give you all the legs of each call. If the call bounced around, got transferred around, you can toggle this switch on. Total call picture. Yeah. Up. So the particular user I picked had 3 calls, and it summarizes each. If I had multiple users, it would summarize them here with their calls, and then right. So I know I showed you just the kind of the actual report and what they look like. But as far as running the report, so if you've got the templates, say you make a copy of it and you want to run that report, just head on over here to the play button, and this is where, like I said, you can choose your output: CSV, HTML, PDF, or Excel, and how you want that report delivered. In this case, I want to download it. I can set it up to email. And then you can pick well, maybe I'll send Matt a report. Keep him on his toes. We've got chat delivery available, FTP, and repository. Repository, basically just put it in the built-in repository. I'll show you that in a second. And then over here, a search time window. This is where you choose what time period you want to run your report. Scroll all the way to the top. It kind of starts with specific date. I can put a specific date and run it from this date to this date. Or this one here, specific date with time of day. I can choose if I don't want all day. I could choose all day, or I can put in time. So if you're just open from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever, you can put those hours in, and it'll exclude all the other hours. Just include and then scrolling on down here, we've got different hour options for hour, and then current day, previous day, different day options. It kind of goes in order: hour, day, week, and then we've got monthly options: previous 3 months, quarter, previous quarter, and year. A lot of different options for running the report and getting your output that you need. Again, I mentioned copying the report. If you're going to keep the templates as they are, just make copies of them. This download button downloads a JSON file, which sometimes in troubleshooting, we ask you to send us the configuration to the report if we're troubleshooting big. Just download this, send us that JSON. We can load it up in our labs. And obviously delete. So, Matt, that is about all I have for this.
Okay. All right. Well, fantastic job as always, Jim. Now we're going to move to the Q&A section of of this session. Say that 3 times fast. So if anybody has any commentary, any questions on what Jim has covered today via MS Teams, or the report templates that he was kind of showcasing here. Kirk did have one question. I guess I'll just make mention while people are burning away at the keyboard to ask us some questions. But Kirk was just confirming that all the templates are within the original download folder for whichever platform or system they are using, such as Cisco WebEx. The answer is yes. The zip that Jim had referenced earlier, when you download from our download pages off our website, will contain all of those configuration files that Jim has made mention, those JSONs, quote unquote, to bulk import into the UI for usage. And the lovely thing about the report template packages for whichever platform that you're utilizing is that they can certainly be used as stepping stones. They're not the end all be all. Certainly there's pardon me, certainly there's things that can be modified and edited and massaged within those report templates to garner kind of a production style report. Okay, thank you everyone who attended today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Our next session will be next Wednesday, May 29th, when Dre and Brian will showcase concealment ratios for quality reporting for CUCM. Be sure to register for that. Also, just a quick reminder that that there will be no webinar the first week of June, as we will all be out at Cisco Live. If you're planning on attending this year, please let your account manager here at Variphy know, so we can keep you in the loop on our customer appreciation events. And certainly feel free to drop by and visit us at the trade show floor at our booth. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, all.